The massive archaeological vessel hovered above the dusty surface of planet GX-227. Inside the ship's main research chamber, lead archaeologist James adjusted his scanner, his eyes fixed on the peculiar readings before him. This was his 100th expedition for the Galactic Council, but something felt different this time. "Sir, you need to see this," called out Tom, one of the junior researchers. His blue-scaled hand pointed toward a newly uncovered entrance. "The energy signatures are unlike anything we've recorded before." James made his way through the dig site, his anti-gravity boots keeping the dust at bay. The entrance led to a vast chamber, its walls covered in perfectly preserved metallic panels. As the team's lights swept across the room, something flickered to life. The air itself seemed to shimmer, and suddenly the chamber was filled with light. Holographic images sprang up around them, showing beings going about their daily lives. James froze in place, his breath catching in his throat. "Impossible," he whispered. The beings in the holograms looked exactly like humans. They walked on two legs, had two arms, and their faces were identical to the species from the unexplored sector that the Council had only recently detected but hadn't yet contacted. "Record everything," James ordered, his voice trembling with excitement. "These must be the precursors. We've finally found clear images of them." The team worked tirelessly, documenting every detail. The holograms showed the precursors building massive structures, operating advanced machinery, and traveling through space in ships that made their current vessels look primitive in comparison. "Sir," called Mary, the team's historian, "according to these data panels, this facility is over 50,000 years old. But that's not the strangest part." She paused, double-checking her readings. "The language they're using. It shares basic structures with several Earth languages we've intercepted from their broadcasts." James felt a chill run down his spine. The precursors were supposed to be myths, stories told to young ones about an advanced civilization that vanished at the height of their power. Yet here was proof not only of their existence, but of their remarkable similarity to humans. He activated his direct link to the Galactic Council. "High Council, this is lead archaeologist James. Request immediate audience. Priority level, maximum." The response was instant. A holographic projection of the council members appeared in the chamber. Their various alien forms, from the crystalline structures of the Lumerians to the gaseous clouds of the Nebulans, all focused on James. "Speak, archaeologist." The chief counselor's thoughts echoed in their minds. James took a deep breath. "Honorable Council, we have found them. The precursors. And there's more." He transmitted the holographic recordings. "They appear identical to the species we recently detected in Sector 7721. The ones calling themselves humans." The council chamber erupted in a chaos of thoughts and exclamations. The chief counselor silenced them with a mental pulse. "Are you certain of this?" the chief counselor asked. "The evidence is undeniable," James replied, sending more data. "The physical appearance, the genetic markers we found in the preserved samples, even fragments of their language, everything points to a connection between the precursors and humans." The council members communicated silently among themselves for several moments. Finally, the chief counselor spoke again. "This discovery changes everything. If these humans are indeed connected to the precursors, they may be the key to unlocking the countless precursor artifacts and facilities scattered across the galaxy." "Your orders, Honorable Council," James asked, already knowing the answer. "Prepare a first contact team. We must approach these humans carefully. If they truly are the descendants of the precursors, they may be far more important than any of us realized." As the council's projection faded, James looked around the chamber one more time. The holograms continued their eternal dance, showing a civilization at its peak, never knowing they would vanish without a trace. Now, 50,000 years later, their possible descendants had been found. The greatest mystery in galactic history was about to unfold, and James couldn't help but wonder, What happened to the precursors, and why did they leave behind a species that looked exactly like them on a small blue planet in an unexplored sector of space? The first contact vessel, Star Seeker, descended through Earth's atmosphere, its advanced cloaking systems keeping it hidden from human detection. Inside, the diplomatic team reviewed their final briefing. Michael stood at the United Nations podium, his hand steady despite the weight of the moment. As Earth's chosen representative, he faced not just the assembly of world leaders, but also the delegation from the Galactic Council sitting in the front row. "We welcome you to Earth," Michael said, his voice clear and strong. The alien delegates, each wearing universal translators, listened intently. Their varied forms, from crystalline beings to gaseous entities, made for a striking contrast against the human audience. The chief counselor rose, its crystalline form catching the light. "We come in peace, seeking answers to a mystery that spans 50,000 years. A holographic projection appeared above the assembly, showing the precursor images from planet GX-227. Gasps filled the chamber. The images showed beings that could have walked down any street on Earth without drawing a second glance. They wore different clothes and used strange technology, but they were unmistakably human-like. "These are the precursors," the chief counselor explained. "An advanced civilization that vanished at the height of their power. You, humans, share their exact appearance. This cannot be coincidence." Michael studied the images, his mind racing. How do we know these aren't just similar-looking beings? The galaxy is vast. Dr. Robert, Earth's leading geneticist, stepped forward with a data tablet. "We've compared the genetic samples from the precursor site with human DNA," he announced. "The match is 99.9% identical. Statistically, this is impossible without a direct connection." The alien scientists confirmed his findings. "We've studied thousands of species," one of them added. "Nothing like this has ever been seen before. Two species, separated by 50,000 years and vast distances of space, sharing nearly identical genetic codes." The council's head scientist, a tall being with silvery skin, activated another hologram. "We've discovered something else. Your planet shows signs of advanced terraforming, consistent with precursor technology. Earth itself might be their greatest project." The assembly erupted in discussions. Michael raised his hand for silence. "What exactly are you suggesting?" "We believe Earth was not your species' original home," the chief counselor stated. "You may be the descendants of precursors who came here for unknown reasons. More importantly, your existence might be the key to accessing their lost technology." To demonstrate, the council brought forward a small precursor device. It had resisted all attempts at activation for millennia. "Would you try touching it?" they asked Michael. With careful movements, Michael placed his hand on the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then it hummed to life, projecting complex symbols into the air. "Extraordinary," breathed the alien scientists. "It responds to your genetic signature." Michael stared at the glowing symbols. "What does this mean for Earth? For humanity?" The chief counselor's voice was solemn. "It means you are not alone in the universe. More than that, you may be the heirs to the most advanced civilization we've ever known. The precursors left countless technologies and facilities across the galaxy. If you can activate them, we could learn what happened to them." Michael finished. "Why they disappeared. Why we're here on Earth." "Precisely," the chief counselor agreed. "But it also means you must be prepared. Whatever caused the precursors to vanish might still exist, and if it discovers your connection to them." The implication hung heavy in the air. Michael looked at the assembled world leaders, then back at the alien delegation. "We need to know everything you found about the precursors, and we need to start exploring these facilities immediately." The chief counselor nodded. "We will share all our knowledge. But time may be short. The activation of precursor technology, after 50,000 years of silence, will not go unnoticed." As the meeting continued into the night, satellites around Earth picked up an unusual signal. Deep in space, something ancient stirred, awakened by the activation of long-dormant technology. The countdown had begun. The massive precursor archive floated silently in deep space, its metallic surface reflecting starlight. Inside, Michael and a team of human scientists worked alongside council researchers, piecing together the history of their ancestors. "Look at this," said Robert, pointing to a holographic display. Their civilization spanned over 10,000 worlds. They had technology we can barely understand. The display showed massive structures that could move planets, ships that could fold space, and energy sources that could power entire solar systems. The chief counselor glided forward on its crystalline appendages. For millions of years, they were the guardians of the galaxy. They helped young species develop, protected them from cosmic threats, and shared their knowledge freely. Michael ran his hand along a control panel, watching it light up at his touch. Then why did they disappear? Why leave all this behind? The archive's systems responded to his DNA, revealing new information. Holographic scenes played out around them, showing the precursors at the height of their power. They had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe itself. "Wait," Robert called out, his eyes fixed on a data stream. "This section talks about Earth. They called it Project Sanctuary." He worked quickly to translate the ancient text. Earth wasn't just terraformed. It was specifically engineered to be hidden. The chief counselor's crystalline form pulsed with interest. Hidden from what? Before anyone could answer, an alarm sounded through the archive. One of the council scientists rushed in, their gaseous form swirling with agitation. "We've detected something. Multiple facilities across the galaxy are activating simultaneously." On the main display, red dots appeared on a galactic map. Hundreds, then thousands of precursor sites were coming online, responding to the presence of human DNA after 50,000 years of dormancy. This isn't just happening here, Michael realized. Every facility we've discovered is waking up. But why now? Why all at once? Robert's face went pale as he decoded more text. Because they were waiting. The precursors. They weren't just building an empire. They were preparing for something. He projected the translated text for everyone to see. The words hung in the air. "If you are reading this, you are our legacy. We could not stay to fight, but we could hide our greatest achievement, you. When you reach the stars and find this message, it means you are ready. The enemy approaches once again." The chief counselor's voice was grave. What enemy could make the most powerful civilization in history run and hide? More text appeared as the archive responded to Michael's presence. "We discovered something in the void between galaxies, something that devours civilizations, erases them from existence. It hunted us across the stars, destroying everything we built. We couldn't defeat it, so we planned for the future instead." "Earth," Michael whispered. "They hid us on Earth, disguised our true nature, and gave us time to develop on our own." Robert continued reading. "They modified their own genetic code, making their descendants, us, capable of interfacing with their technology. But they also hid this ability until we were ready to use it." The archive's systems suddenly shifted, displaying a massive star map. A single point of light pulsed urgently at the galaxy's edge. "These coordinates," the chief counselor said, "they lead to something important." The final message from the precursors appeared. "To our children, we built you a sanctuary, gave you time to grow, and left you the tools to survive. Now you must finish what we started. The enemy never stopped hunting. It will sense you awakening our technology. You must reach the coordinates before they reach you. Everything you need to know is waiting there." Michael looked at the assembled team, human and alien alike. "How long do we have?" The chief counselor's response was interrupted by another alarm. The archive's sensors had detected something massive entering the galaxy's outer rim. Multiple objects, moving faster than should be possible. "Not long," the chief counselor said. "Whatever the precursors were running from, it's coming." Michael squared his shoulders, facing the galactic display. Then we better figure out what's at those coordinates. Humanity just inherited a 50,000-year-old war, and we need every advantage we can get. The archive hummed with power, as if responding to their determination. Across the galaxy, more precursor facilities activated, preparing for the return of an ancient enemy that had only ever been defeated by running away. In a vast precursor facility on Mars, Anna stood before a towering machine that had remained dormant for 50,000 years. As a quantum physicist, she understood the basic principles of energy and matter, but the technology before her defied all known laws of physics. "Are you sure about this?" Robert asked, standing at the control station. The council scientists watched from behind protective barriers, their various forms tense with anticipation. Anna placed her hand on the machine's central panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then light coursed through the entire structure, patterns of energy flowing like water through ancient circuits. The machine hummed to life, its core beginning to spin with impossible grace. "It's talking to me," Anna whispered. Images flooded her mind. Blueprints, equations, concepts that humanity had never dreamed of. "I can see how it works. It's not just responding to my touch, it's teaching me." The chief counselor moved forward, its crystalline form glinting in the machine's light. "The precursors didn't just leave us their technology. They left instructions encoded in human DNA itself." Across the solar system, similar scenes played out. Human scientists touched ancient machines, and knowledge poured into their minds. Precursor facilities, dormant for millennia, sparked to life under human hands. "Each device is different," Robert reported, reviewing incoming data. "Defense systems, power generators, terraforming engines, an entire infrastructure waiting for the right genetic key." Anna stepped back from the machine, her mind reeling with new understanding. "They weren't just hiding us," she said. "They were preparing us. Every piece of their technology is designed to download information directly into human consciousness." The facility's main screen activated, showing similar activations across the galaxy. Wherever humans touched precursor technology, ancient systems roared to life. But with each activation, something else stirred in the vast darkness between stars. "We're running out of time," the chief counselor warned. "Each activation is like a beacon. The enemy will follow these signals straight to us." Anna moved to another console, her hands dancing over controls she somehow knew how to use. "Then we need to understand everything before they arrive. Look at this." The precursors left us a defense network. Millions of automated systems, all connected, all waiting for human operators. Robert's console beeped urgently. More facilities are coming online. The whole Mars defense grid is activating. But something's wrong with the Earth readings. The main screen shifted, showing their home planet. Beneath the surface, beneath the oceans, hidden in mountain ranges, precursor technology was everywhere. Earth itself was one massive facility, disguised and dormant for 50 millennia. That's why they chose Earth, Anna realized. It's not just a sanctuary, it's a fortress. The chief counselor's form pulsed with concern. A fortress against what? As if in answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. The long-range sensors had detected something massive approaching from the galactic edge. Not ships, not fleet, something that moved like a living shadow between the stars. "We need more time," Robert said, his voice tight. "There's too much to learn, too many systems to activate." Anna's eyes were distant, processing the knowledge flowing into her mind from the precursor machines. Time. Yes, that's it. She rushed to another console. The precursors mastered temporal mechanics. These facilities, they're not just defense systems. They're time dilation generators. "Can you operate them?" the chief counselor asked. Anna's hands moved with certainty over the controls. "I can now. We can create a bubble of accelerated time around our solar system. Give ourselves months or years while only days pass outside." "Do it," Robert ordered. "We need every second we can get." As Anna worked, more humans across the galaxy connected with precursor technology. Each activation brought new knowledge, new capabilities, and new dangers. The race was on, to learn everything their ancestors left behind before the ancient enemy arrived to finish what it had started 50,000 years ago. In the darkness between stars, something vast and hungry changed course, drawn by the awakening of long-dormant power. The final war of the precursors was about to begin again, with humanity standing where their ancestors had fallen. Deep within the heart of a precursor facility on Europa, Anna worked frantically at the central command console. Time was different here, stretched by the temporal bubble they had created around the solar system. Outside, days passed while they experienced months, but even that might not be enough. "I found something," she called out. The holographic display above her head showed cascading symbols in the precursor language, a language that now felt as natural to her as her native tongue. "It's a message, hidden in the facility's deepest protocols." Robert and the chief counselor hurried to her station. The ice walls of Europa's underground facility hummed with power around them, ancient machines processing data at impossible speeds. "Play it," Robert said, his breath forming clouds in the cold air. The hologram shifted, forming into the image of a precursor. He looked so human that he could have been anyone's ancestor. His eyes held a weight of knowledge and fear that transcended the 50,000 years since his recording. "To our children," the message began, "if you are seeing this, then our greatest hope has succeeded. You have survived, grown, and found your way back to the stars." The image flickered, showing scenes of a vast civilization at its height. "We did not disappear. We did not die out. We ran. We ran because we found something that could not be fought, could not be reasoned with." The hologram changed, showing darkness spreading between stars. "We called it the void hunger. It exists in dimensions we barely understood. It doesn't invade worlds. It erases them from reality itself. Entire civilizations, written out of existence as if they never were." Anna's hands trembled as she worked the controls. More data flowed across the screens. Calculations, observations, desperate attempts to understand an enemy that defied comprehension. "We tried to fight," the precursor continued. "We built weapons that could shatter planets, shields that could contain supernovas. Nothing worked. The void hunger simply unmade them, unmade us. Every victory was temporary. Every defense eventually failed." The chief counselor's crystalline form dimmed with horror, an enemy that can erase reality itself. "But we found a way," the message continued with renewed hope. "Not to defeat it, not yet, but to preserve our legacy. We chose Earth, hidden in an unremarkable spiral arm. We seeded it with our modified genetics, created you to appear gradually through evolution. The enemy cannot track what appears to arise naturally." Robert leaned forward. "That's why we look human. We didn't descend from Earth's primates. We were engineered to emerge through them." The precursor nodded, as if hearing them across time. "We hid our technology throughout the galaxy, coded to activate only when you were ready. Each facility contains a piece of the puzzle. The coordinates we left you, they lead to our last and greatest creation, a weapon we never had time to complete." The hologram displayed a series of numbers and symbols. Anna recognized them, the same coordinates they'd found in the first archive. "But now that you've awakened our technology, the enemy will come. It never stopped searching, never stopped hunting. You must reach our final facility before it reaches you. Everything you need is there, the understanding, the technology, the weapon. Complete what we could not." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the Europa facility. The temporal bubble was detecting distortions at the edge of the solar system. "They're coming faster than we predicted," Robert said, checking the readings. "The temporal bubble won't hold against their presence." The precursor's final words rang through the chamber. "You are our children, our legacy, and our last hope. We gave you everything we could, our genes, our knowledge, our technology. Now you must surpass us. The coordinates lead to the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. What you find there will either save all of reality, or become another monument to failure. The message ended, leaving them in silence broken only by the facility's warnings. Anna looked at the coordinates, then at the approaching distortions that threatened to unmake reality itself. "How long do we have?" she asked. The chief counselor's response was grim. "At their current speed, less than a week in real time." "Then we better figure out how to reach those coordinates," Anna said, her hands already moving to new controls. "Because this time, running isn't an option." The combined fleet of human and council ships hung in space near Jupiter's orbit. At their center, the massive precursor dreadnought they'd activated from Mars cast a shadow across the void. On its bridge, Anna and Robert worked with dozens of other humans, their minds directly connected to the ancient systems. "Multiple distortions detected," called out Robert, his eyes glowing with the ship's sensor data. There's no other word for it. They're unwriting space itself as they approach." The main view screen showed the horror clearly. Stars were vanishing along the enemy's path, leaving absolute nothing in their wake. Not darkness, not empty space, simply non-existence. "All ships report ready," Anna announced. The knowledge downloaded from precursor technology flowed through her consciousness. "The temporal bubble is failing, but we got every weapon system online." The chief counselor's voice came through the command channel. "Remember, we only need to hold them long enough to get the primary expedition to the coordinates. The future of all reality depends on what they find there." Beyond the fleet, space itself began to twist. The void hunger emerged like living shadows, entities that hurt the mind to look at. Their forms seemed to exist in dimensions beyond normal space-time. "By all the stars," whispered someone on the bridge. "Where the entities passed, reality simply ceased to be." Sensor readings showed absolute null, areas where the laws of physics themselves had been erased. "Launch the first attack wave," Anna ordered. Precursor weapons, now fully activated by human operators, roared to life. Beams of pure energy, missiles that bent space itself, and defenses that could contain supernovas, all fired simultaneously. The void hunger didn't dodge. The weapons simply stopped existing before they hit their targets. But the attack served its purpose, drawing attention away from a small, fast ship racing away from the battle, carrying a select team toward the mysterious coordinates. "How long do they need?" Robert asked, initiating another barrage. Anna's mind raced through calculations. 10 minutes real time to clear the solar system. If they can jump to FTL before the hunger notices them. The enemy struck back. Ships began disappearing, not exploding, not being destroyed, but being erased from existence. Crew members watched in horror as parts of their own vessels simply ceased to be, leaving perfectly clean edges where reality ended. "Reroute all power to the temporal shields," Anna commanded. The precursor dreadnought hummed as it generated a field of accelerated time around the fleet. Weapons fired faster, crews thought, and moved quicker. But the void hunger seemed unaffected by temporal mechanics. 5 minutes, Robert counted down. "The expedition needs 5 more minutes." The chief counselor's ship moved forward, its crystalline structure glowing with borrowed precursor technology. "We'll give them those minutes." More ships vanished, erased from history. The defensive line buckled but held. Humans, connected directly to precursor systems, fought with technology they'd only learned to use months ago in subjective time. 3 minutes. A void entity brushed against the dreadnought's shields. Reality flickered, time itself stuttering around them. Anna felt the ship's pain through her neural connection, felt portions of its history being unmade. 1 minute. "The expedition ship has cleared the system," Robert announced. FTL drive spooling up. The void hunger seemed to realize what was happening. The assault on the fleet intensified. Entire squadrons were wiped from existence, leaving crews that remained with memories of friends and comrades that now had never been. "They've jumped." Anna's voice carried both triumph and fear. "The expedition is away." The enemy's response was immediate and terrible. The assault on the defensive fleet doubled, then tripled in intensity. Reality began unraveling faster than the temporal shields could compensate. "Fall back to Earth," Anna ordered. "We've given them the time they needed. Now we just have to survive long enough for them to find whatever's waiting at those coordinates." As the fleet retreated toward humanity's homeworld, the Void Hunger followed with implacable purpose. The final battle for existence itself was about to begin, and Earth's defenses were the last line between reality and absolute nothing. The war that had brought down the precursors had returned. This time, there was nowhere left to run. Earth's orbital space blazed with energy as the combined Human Council fleet fought their desperate battle. The Void Hunger pressed closer, reality dissolving at their touch. Inside the precursor dreadnought, Anna received the transmission she'd been waiting for. "Expedition team reporting." The message crackled through space-time distortions. "We found it. The precursor weapon. It's not what we thought." Robert joined her at the command console, his neural link showing critical damage throughout the fleet. "What do you mean? What did you find?" The response came through broken and distorted. "It's not a weapon. It's a key. The precursors discovered that reality itself is conscious. The Void Hunger is like an immune response. Reality trying to eliminate what it sees as a disease. Advanced civilizations." Anna's mind raced, combining this new information with everything the precursor technology had taught her. "That's why they couldn't fight it. You can't fight reality itself. But you can change its mind," the expedition leader continued. "The precursors built a way to communicate with reality directly. They never finished it because the hunger found them first." Outside, another council ship vanished from existence. The defensive line around Earth was crumbling. Humanity's homeworld, their sanctuary for 50,000 years, stood exposed. "How do we activate it?" Anna asked, watching the Void Hunger approach. "It needs a connection. Millions of minds linked together through precursor technology. Human minds, carrying precursor genes. We're not just their descendants, we're their final message to reality itself." Anna looked at the neural interfaces connecting every human to their ships and stations. Earth's defense grid, it's not just weapons. The whole planet is one giant communication array. Robert understood immediately. Everyone, linked to the planetary network. Council ships, fall back behind Earth's orbit. Through their neural connections, every human felt the change. Earth's hidden precursor technology activated fully for the first time. The planet itself began to glow with power built up over 50,000 years. The Void Hunger paused their advance, sensing something new. Reality itself seemed to hesitate. "Now," Anna commanded. Every human mind connected to the network, their thoughts joining in a singular purpose. The expedition team activated their discovery, and Earth became a beacon, not of energy or matter, but of consciousness itself. Through their linked minds, they spoke directly to reality, not with words, but with understanding. They showed the beauty of existence, the wonder of consciousness, the value of civilization itself. 50,000 years of human art, music, dreams, and hopes poured through the connection. The Void Hunger stopped. Reality itself seemed to pause and listen. Through their connection, they felt reality's response. Curiosity, then understanding. The hunger had been an immune response, but now reality recognized them not as a disease, but as part of itself. A way for the universe to know itself, to grow, to become more. The Void Hunger began to retreat, not in defeat, but in acceptance. Where they passed now, they restored what had been erased. Ships reappeared, crews returned to existence, stars rekindled in the void. "We did it," Robert whispered, watching through the ship's sensors as reality knitted itself back together. "We didn't beat them. We made peace with existence itself." The chief counselor's voice came through, filled with awe. The precursors couldn't finish their work because they tried to do it alone. They needed humanity, needed us all working together, to show reality itself the value of conscious life. As the last of the Void Hunger withdrew, Anna felt Earth's defense grid power down. The neural connection gently dissolved, leaving every human with the memory of being part of something vast and beautiful. "What now?" Robert asked, looking at the restored stars. Anna smiled. "Now we do what the precursors really wanted. We grow, we learn, we explore. But this time, we do it with reality's blessing, not its opposition." The combined fleet regrouped around Earth, their crews forever changed by what they'd experienced. They had faced the end of existence itself and found not victory through power, but peace through understanding. Humanity had proven themselves worthy successors to the precursors, not by fighting their war, but by finishing their greatest work, making peace with reality itself. The real adventure was just beginning.